red hot. Last night lasting 4 home runs, which was more than enough for lefty David Price to hurl his second career shutout. Tonight, reigning Rookie of the Year, Jeremy Hellickson faces an old nemesis as lefty C.J. Wilson gets the ball for the Angels. Rays baseball starts now on Sun Sports. Welcome to Tropicana Field, where tonight this homestand continues. The Rays winners last night. They've gone 3-1 on this homestand. Tonight, the middle game of the series between the Rays and the Los Angeles Angels. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball. With Ron Anderson, I'm Dwayne Statz. Great to have you aboard. Todd Callis along in just a few moments. Well, this spring, a lot of talk about great pitching and great defense. The Rays might have been concerned about their offense, but the last week now, twice, they have hit as many as 4 home runs in a single game, including last night.
Well, yeah, and if you look at what they've done over the course of the early part of this season, through 17 games, the Rays now have 23 home runs compared to what they did last year. You know, they talked about in this offseason they wanted to bring some pop back into the middle of that lineup. They bring in Carlos Pena, Luke Scott. Both of those guys have 4 home runs. They have 3 guys or 5 guys on this team right now that have 3 home runs or more. So they're getting it all up and down the lineup. And really, when you look at it, the power surge in the early part of this season is a direct byproduct of a good approach at the plate and taking advantage of pitchers' mistakes.
Last Wednesday in Toronto in a 12-2 win, they had 4 home runs at the start of this homestand. They got B.J. Upton back. He was part of the 4 home run barrage here last night. Pitching matchup and another dandy brought to you by your Southern Ford dealer, C.J. Wilson. We remember him in a Texas Ranger uniform and how tough he was against the Rays. Jeremy Hellickson, Rookie of the Year last year and a 13-game winner, looks for victory number 3 tonight. The Rays and the Angels. Carlos Pena making his presence felt once again in a Rays uniform, and Todd Callis has more on that when we return.
up before this game, Game 5 of the 6-game homestand. Rays are 6-1 on the home season so far at Tropicana Field. And Carlos was one of the 4 Rays who hit a solo home run in last night's game. It started with Desmond Jennings, and it wrapped up with the Rays' first baseman. In fact, when Carlos hit that home run, not only did it give the Rays a 4-0 lead, but it was a historic hit for number 23. Career hit number 1,000 right here, fittingly in a Rays uniform where almost half of his hits in his career have come. And also fittingly, a home run for number 1,000. His 262 of his 1,000 hits have been home runs. There you see, of his 262, 148 of those are with the Rays. Nobody else in Tampa Bay history has hit more. A Rays All-Star in 09, 12 years with the following 5 teams you see there. And we asked Carlos prior to tonight's game about what, actually after last night's game, what it meant to him to reach that plateau.
Definitely very special. It took me a while to get there. And I dreamt about getting 1 hit in the big leagues. I think I've said this before, and for me to, get 1, 2, 1,000, it's truly a blessing. So I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to actually do this. There's nothing I can say except that I am just extremely happy and grateful.
Always humble, always gracious, and there's James Shields. He's mic'd up tonight. He wears his sunglasses at night. So does Tom Foley. We're going to hear from James Shields throughout the course of the game. We're also on a website Wednesday going to let you ask Dwayne or BA whatever you like. 2 different ways you can do it. Email them at AskTheRays@Fox.com or tweet at SunSportsRays, hashtag AskTheRays. Boys, you ready?
Oh, we're ready.
They are ready. Look at that. They have monitors, pins. They are ready to roll. So are we. Baseball around the corner. Angels and Rays in 2 minutes and 32 seconds right now as Jeremy Hellickson will be on the mound for Tampa Bay. C.J. Wilson with his first start against Tampa Bay as a member of the Angels. Enjoy all the action, everybody, right here on SunSports.
The Rays dugout into the Shields dance studio, apparently, and the Rays right-hander will be mic'd up.
Let's go. Let's get to work.
We'll be hearing from James Shields throughout the evening. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Los Angeles Angels. Bobby Abreu, the veteran outfielders, getting a start to lead off in left. Howie Kendrick next, and then Albert Pujols. Kendry Morales in the lineup tonight as the DH. Torrey Hunter's in right. Vernon Wells in center. Monsieur Sturis is the third. Eric Ibar out of the ace spot. He is the shortstop. And Chris Iannetta, the catcher, will bat ninth.
Making the start tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays. It'll be his fourth. Right-hander Jeremy Hellickson. Perfect 2-0 record. ERA 3.26. Like to see that number right here come down. The 10 walks. The opponent's average, very good. He's coming off a win in his last outing against the Toronto Blue Jays. Pitched into the 6th inning, 2 earned runs. Picking up that second victory. Let's take a look at the Rays defense as it lines up behind Jeremy Hellickson. In the outfield, left to right. Desmond Jennings, B.J. Upton, and Ben Zobrist. Across the infield, third to first. Evan Longoria, Sean Rodriguez, Jeff Keppinger, and Carlos Pena. Chris Jimenez will be behind the plate.
Well, we've seen the lineups, we've seen the defensive setup, and now we're all set to play ball. Bobby Abreu, who starts the night hitting 200, steps in there against Jeremy Hellickson. Hellickson, one decision lifetime against the Angels, and he lost that one. First pitch, and Abreu takes a look, and that's a strike. First pitch presented by Pinch a Penny. So we're underway. 72 comfortable degrees here. The 0-1 from Hellickson. This one is down. 1 ball and 1 strike. Abreu relegated to really looking for playing time in this outfield. It's become a little crowded. Strike at the knees, and it's 1-2. Abreu turned 38 years old in March. He is 2 out of 3 with a home run off Hellickson. Hellickson's made 2 appearances, 1 start against the Angels. Abreu still with a 1-2 count. He gave up that home run, Hellickson did, on the 6th of April last year in a 5-1 loss to the Angels. And it's a little wide. Curveball. So the count goes to 2-2. Rays start the night 10-7. The Angels are 6-11. And that pitch is very close right there. 3-2.
That was the same pitch as strike 2. I mean, that was the same pitch as strike 2. And the ball certainly has plenty of plate. I'll bet that side view shows him hit across the knees.
Three-two. Fly ball back into straightaway center. Upton's got a ways to go, and it's going to be off the wall. Abreu heads to second, and he's in there sliding with the double. Well, a 3-2 fastball, and Abreu hit it right back down the middle into center off the wall.
Now that fastball was elevated up and out over the plate. He's trying to go away, and that ball just splits thigh high, and Bobby Abreu puts a good swing on it, almost gets it out of here to dead center field.
Now it's Howie Kendrick. Kendrick, a rare night last night against the Rays. Maybe it's just an indication of how good David Price was. That's a strike as he shortened on the bat, because Kendrick came into the game last night hitting .418 lifetime against the Rays, but against David Price, he was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. the 0-1. 2 strikes.
Good changeup there by Jeremy Hellickson, and referencing David Price's start last night, that's what comes together, and that's what kind of outing when you get when you take a guy that has plus stuff, that has tremendous command, and has all of his pitches working, and able to throw for strikes on one given night. That's the kind of line you come up with. Superb.
A ball and 2 strikes. He was fun to watch last night as he put it all together. He started the night throwing strikes, finished walking just 1 man, and giving up 5 hits, no runs. Kendrick is out on strikes. That changeup got him. 1 away.
Jeremy Hellickson coming here with a changeup. This ball just kind of sinks and floats under the bat of Howie Kendrick. Swings right over top of it. Good finish on that pitch. Big out there without allowing Kendrick to move Abreu up or drive him in.
Albert Pujols. And the first pitch to Pujols is a strike. Albert at 232. And the Rays held them hitless last night. No home runs and 4 runs batted in for the year. Ground ball foul outside of third. And the count is 0-2.
And I'll bet you that's what Albert Pujols would say, and what he's thinking right now is when you are in a little bit of a slide, not swinging the bat well, you walk up to the plate and it's an 0-2 count.
See, he's got an 0 for 16 going. It's wide. Mike Scioscia, the Angels manager, allowing after the game that, sure, he thinks Pujols is feeling a little frustration trying to get this thing going, and he thinks he's pretty close. A ball, 2 strikes. I thought you could see in a couple of at-bats and in the aftermath of a couple of those at-bats, you could see that written on his face, the frustration.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's coming off the hitless series against the Orioles.
And a tap foul holds the count at 1-2.
You know, he came up, line drive, right to the shortstop position last night. And yeah, I definitely think that plays into it. You know, you've got a huge contract, big expectations, going to be the difference maker, put this team over the top, take the division back from the Texas Rangers. Human being.
And a swing and a foul ball. He got just a little piece of it to stay alive.
Yeah, and that's where teams have been pounding Albert Pujols, is in. This is something that they started to be exploited a little bit last year. And you watch this swing. I mean, that's an awkward swing right there. 2 strikes, obviously trying to protect. But boy, oh boy, you don't see Albert Pujols take swings like that very often.
You know, and as disciplined as he can be, when he's good, he'll hit balls out of the strike zone, out for home runs.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right, that's an area last year that some pitchers in the National League started to discover that they could work that way against him. But this guy's had such great, not only plate coverage, but off the plate coverage. That's what's made him so dominating as a hitter. Ground ball deep short. Rodriguez with a long throw, and it's there in time. 2 gone.
Well, I don't think that at bat right there is a good example. Jeremy Hellickson is not throwing 97 miles an hour, and he made absolutely no bones that he was going to continue to come in. And even here, this ball jams him. He hits it right off the label.
And that's a fastball at 91.
91. Look at that. Right off the label. There's nothing on that ground ball to shortstop. And it wasn't like he surprised him in there. He was pounding him in there.
So 2 outs with Abreu still at second. Kendry Morales will be the hitter. He's the DH tonight. Morales, who missed all of last year with a broken ankle, had to go in and have a second surgery. And he takes the pitch soft and low. 1 ball and no strikes with an opening changeup. See Morales' breakdown much more effective from the left side in the early part of this year. Ground ball right side against the shift, and Keppinger from short right takes care of that. No runs, leadoff double, and Abreu is left on base. Jennings, Zobrist, and Pena wait to hit. Toyota vehicles. Toyota moving forward by AT TBA, the nation's largest 4G network. AT TBA, rethink possible. By Tires Plus. The plus is in everything we do. And by Checkers. Feast on. The Rays coming in to hit in the bottom half of the first inning. No score. Let's take a look at the Rays lineup. Brought to you by Lexus. Desmond Jennings leads off, followed by Ben Zobrist and then Carlos Pena. Evan Longoria, Jeff Keppinger, and B.J. Upton, 4, 5, and 6. Luke Scott, the DH. Sean Rodriguez and Chris Jimenez, 8 and 9.
Taking the mound tonight for the Los Angeles Angels, it's left-hander C.J. Wilson. You see his season numbers there, very impressive throughout. His numbers here at Tropicana Field, very impressive. 3 career starts, 2-0. 1.23 earned run average in this building.
Well, a couple years into his career as a starting pitcher, and boy, have they been great seasons for him. A 16-game winner last year. And here's Desmond. The pitch is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. It's upstairs, 2-0.
And speaking of, here's our Coventry Healthcare scouting report, Dwayne. You talked about going to a starter. Smooth transition. You know, a couple of years ago, 74 games coming out of the bullpen, 14 saves, becomes a full-time starter in 2010. He's 33 and 16 with a 3.11 earned run average since.
And he falls behind Jennings 3-0.
And the other part of that scouting report, playoffs in April. What does that mean? Well, last September, C.J. Wilson shut this Ray team out. 9 shutout innings, 5 hits. In the playoffs, they were able to bang him up pretty good. That's the one you go back to.
And there is ball 4. He opens by walking Jennings.
Let's take a look at the Angel defense as it lines up tonight. In the outfield, left to right, Bobby Abreu, Vernon Wells, and Torrey Hunter. Across the infield, third to first, Maicer Izturis, Eric Ibar, Howie Kendrick, and Albert Pujols. Chris Iannetta once again behind the plate.
Well, the Rays got him for 3 home runs, 8 runs, 6 earned in 5 innings in the postseason. Now Ben Zobrist. Pitch misses, 1-0. The one thing Wilson has done, well, he's done a lot of things as a starting pitcher to be successful, but he has thrown a ton of ground balls.
Well, he gets that cutter. That cutter gets working. He gets the fastball away from the righties that moves well. The cutter coming in jams a lot of guys for some weak ground balls.
Finds the strike zone there, and the count is 1-1.
You talk to the Rays hitters, and they talk about all of his pitches that he uses to attack hitters, but how he works them in unison and how effective they are. He just has a good feel for pitching, how to add and subtract.
Liner into center field. That is out number 1. A line drive to center. Caught by Vernon Wells. Well, here's a flashback to game 1 of the division series. Johnny Damon got him. That was early in the second inning. And then Kelly Shopik hit the first of 2. He drove that one out to center field. And in the 5th inning, caught a curveball and hit it out. It's the line giving up those 3 home runs and 6 earned runs, 8 total in 5 innings. The Rays won that game 9-0. Matt Moore made the start. Here's Carlos Pena, and the pitch is a strike. Going up and down the lineup, though. You saw Damon and Shopik had great days there in that division series game. But there are a number of Rays hitters in this lineup who had trouble with them. Pena has only 5 at-bats. He's 0 for 5, but Upton's 0 for 17. Zobrist is now 4 for 20 off him. Longoria is just 3 for 20. And Jennings, who walked, is 0 for 10. That's the 4th walk he's drawn against him. So it figures to be a challenging night with Wilson out there, but you never know. Swing and a miss. Pena out on the fastball.
C.J. Wilson coming here. 92-mile-per-hour fastball, gets that ball up and moving in towards Carlos Pena. Just not able to catch up on it. Carlos has that swing where he likes to catch the ball on an uppercut to drive it. When you go that high in the strike zone or out of it, real tough to catch up to.
Now a move to first, and Jennings is back in.
This may be one area that you can exploit against C.J. Wilson. For a lefty, you see Desmond 3 for 4 on the season. Gave up 24 stolen bases last year, 21 in 2010. That's a high number for a left-handed starter.
Down and in. A ball and no strikes. That's that slider that bites down and in to the right-handed hitter.
And that's the thing. That's the other thing about C.J. Wilson. The kitchen sink he's going to throw at you. He'll throw you the fastball, the cut fastball, the slider. He's got curveball. Also the changeup. You got to be prepared.
There goes the runner. Good jump. And a steal No problem for Jennings, picking up his 4th stolen base in 5 attempts this year.
Well, here it is. C.J. Wilson, very deliberate to the plate. That made it a very easy steal there for Desmond Jennings. Got to try to get every advantage you can against a pitcher like C.J. Wilson, especially when he's hamstrung your team like he has over his career. Joe Madden will pull out all the stops tonight.
Well, they're down 2-0 to Evan, and now they're going to walk him intentionally. You know, Jeff Keppinger is hitting behind Longoria, so Evan gets the intentional walk. And Keppinger, given his time with Houston and that interleague play, the series between Houston and Texas, he's logged a few at-bats against Wilson. He's 4 for 13 with a walk off him. So it's 1st and 2nd with 2 gone here in the bottom of the 1st. Takes a strike around the knees. Fastball to start Keppinger. And another pitch. That's a dandy right there. 0-2.
Yeah, right at the knees. A changeup down and away. Handle. Watch this. Ball stays right out there. It's a good pitch.
And a little pop up down to 3rd as Turris makes the catch, so he cut that ball in on his fist. Rays lead 2. On to the 2nd. No score.
Today, buddy. Oh, I didn't tell you? I told everyone else but you.
Hey, bro.
But you can drop bro all day.
Hey, bro, let me tell you this.
Put it back on.
Leave him on, bro.
Keep throwing 9, this is what you get.
Hey, boy! Hey, boy, bro! Hey, baby, bro!
Good job, bro!
Well, there you go. Huh? There you are.
Need the shades back on.
Yeah, there's a certain presence that they afford. Torrey Hunter takes a pitch inside.
That tells you a lot about James Shields' future. Right there. So bright. Needs to wear shades indoors at night.
Yeah.
White on white look good.
Did you ever have a chance to be mic'd up when you were in uniform?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
A strike to Hunter, 1-1.
It was a good time.
A lot of editing time, right?
Hey, yeah. Let's just say that they put me on live at one point during a furious rally, and took me off right away.
That would be the most exciting time. Ground ball up the middle, and that's going to go through. A base hit here, and Hunter is aboard. Hey, let's check in with Todd Callis.
Dwayne, 2 ways you can ask questions tonight on Website Wednesday. You can either email at AskTheRays@Fox.com, or on Twitter, go to @SunSportsRays and hashtag AskTheRays. Our first question comes from Mark, and he needs a little bit of help. He said he and his wife are having a little bit of a discussion because at 8 o'clock, she wants to watch American Idol. He said to her, we're staying with the Rays game, but he also said, guys, I could use your help to convince her.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah.
They had 2 contestants from Tampa Bay. They're no longer on there, through no fault of their own, we might add. They were very good. They knocked them off for bigger markets. So out of loyalty to Tampa Bay, you got to stay with this game.
Well,
the talent's gone.
And this talent is here.
Yeah.
The next 3 hours.
And it's live, in color, high definition. So out of loyalty to the home team.
And you know what? And I'll tell you something else. Go ahead and get the blanket and the pillow and throw it on the couch. Just put it there. That's where you're going.
Yep, there you are. So I hope we've settled that. Family counselors as well. Vernon Wells swings and misses. It's the breaking ball. This might have been the change. Yeah, it was. The count is 1-1. Hellickson gave up that double in the first inning, but pitched right out of that.
Well, and you pregame show, you saw some tape, Joe Madden and David Price talking about what makes Jeremy Hellickson special, and they said he's able to slow the game down. And you look at what he did. Abreu with the double, gets out Kendrick, Pujols, Morales, but it's been nothing new. It's exactly what he's done all year long. Runner at second base, runners in scoring position. Teams are now 1 for 17 off of Jeremy Hellickson.
Liner into left. That's going to fall for a base hit. Jennings had an idea and then decided he's going to have to play it on one hop. So a couple of base hits to open the second inning. Boy, that's a trait in a veteran pitcher. But for a young guy, Hellickson to come up as a rookie last year, and we saw a little bit the year before when he was up. You really marvel at that, to be able to slow the game down, because it's actually, for some guys, number one, it's a faster game up here. There's no question about that. Balls are hit harder, situations develop, and if you let it get away from you, you're in trouble. But for a guy to have the presence that Hellickson has had at such a tender age to do that is really exceptional. Here's the Stores. Longoria in at third. And Pena in a bit from first base. No sign of bunting that pitch down and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, most guys have to fight to keep the game from speeding up. Just keep it the same pace.
It's natural to do that.
Well, yeah,
you pop from AAA or AA, wherever you've come from, to the big leagues, and now you think, I've really got to up the game. Well, Hellickson never feels that way.
No, not even when he's in trouble. I mean, that's what's...
And a popper short left. Here comes Jennings. And he makes the grab. 1 away.
It's one thing to have that demeanor, when you come up and you're throwing well and things are moving right along. But it's another to have that demeanor, like you said, coming from the minor leagues just last year, first full season, and being that young and able to slow the game down on that level. But then, you look at his numbers with runners in scoring position overall. Just he never gets rattled. Never gets rattled. Is always to stay in complete control of his emotions, which then allows him to think clearly and think about executing pitches to get out of those jams.
Well, now he faces Ibar, Eric Ibar, the shortstop. The pitch is down and in. That is the breaking ball in around 73. Ibar, the leadoff hitter in last night's game, had a walk and a single. Liner shot, that's foul. Out of play. 1-1. It's a great shot prior to that pitch of Hellickson getting a feel for that baseball. It reminds me of the line that Jim Bouton had. He said, you spend your entire life trying to get a grip on the ball, and he says you realize at some point that it's really the ball that's got a grip on you. And that's what happens in this game. 1 ball and 1 strike. And he fouls this one up the right side, out of play. So another souvenir spread around here, and the count is 1-2. I mean, there are times when you almost think that Hellickson enjoys pitching with men on base more than without runners on base. They hold the count to 1-2. They're going to call catcher's interference here. And Jimenez is going to argue the point with Foster. And here comes Joe Madden out. Let's hear what Foster has to say. It's going to be catcher's interference to load the bases. Jimenez was almost immediate there, claiming that he did not make contact, that the bat did not touch his mitt. Foster made the call, and let's take a look. From that angle, it didn't appear that he made contact. I'm sure Madden wanted to make sure. He said, are you absolutely sure?
Yeah.
Of course, the umpire's going to go, yeah, well, sure, I called it.
Right.
But that's the point I'm sure that Madden was making there. Are you absolutely sure? So it's going to be catcher's interference, and now goes an error charge to the Rays catcher, and the bases are going to be loaded. They're loaded for the Angels catcher. Here's Chris Iannetta. And the pitch is a strike call.
You know, when you go back and look at that, what Marty Foster and who knows if the tick that, you know, it's tough to tell from that angle, but he had a pitch that was up and out of the strike zone. So you have Jimenez is going to be reaching for it as the swing's being taken, and it looks like he closes his glove just as the bat either ticks the top of it or goes over the top. But the fact that he had to reach for the pitch is what would obviously give Marty Foster the impression that that glove is up, in a spot. Combine that with the late swing.
This one is down and away. You know, that's a tough call to make. I don't know really how you make it. There are cases when catcher's interference is just so obvious.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you can make that one. But when one is as nuanced as that one, I don't. That's a tough call to make.
It absolutely is. Usually that glove's going to move. A guy swings a baseball bat. I don't care if he just ticks it. The glove moves in a definitive way. They're just looking to help close it.
Cut and a miss. Let's take a look from. This is Marty Foster's point of view to a degree.
See, and what was that? The glove being knocked down by the swing, or was that the grip? Him squeezing the glove to catch the ball?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. Madden's going to try to elicit information from the umpire, and the umpire's not going to. He doesn't want to incriminate himself, so he's like, "Well, I saw the mitt do this." No, we're not going to go there. So sure, I'm positive. That's why I called it. Let's go. Let's play.
Joe put a little mini court case on out there.
So the count's a ball and 2 strikes. Time called. Angels have Hunter at third and Wells at second. Ibar is aboard at first. Counted a ball, 2 strikes. And through all of this, Hellickson's demeanor, we saw before he made the last pitch. It's like, well, go down, get a soda pop, maybe a pack of baseball cards.
As soon as I get out of this. Well, here's the flip side, and it goes against your inner workings, but what good does it do you to get out of control and have your mind start racing and try to start throwing the ball harder?
Yeah, it's wasted energy. 1. Tap foul and distracted concentration.
Yeah, and that leads to mistakes, or it leads to making dumb pitches. And they talk a lot about pitchers. They get into, this guy gets in trouble. He wants to go hard. Well, that doesn't get lost on scouts. Doesn't get lost on the guys in the other dugout. Okay, this guy, when he gets into trouble, he wants to rear back and just throw fastballs and throw harder and harder. Makes you a pretty easy scouting report.
And a foul ball again, a fastball this time. Hunter singled, Wells singled. Asturias hit a fly ball to shallow left. Ibar reached on catcher's interference. 1-2 the count to Iannetta. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming. And did he go? He did not. Pretty close on the appeal down to Tim Timmons. Iannetta started after that pitch, and according to Timmons, he checked.
Now this was a cutter working its way off the plate. Like he held up.
Not a bad idea there.
No, not at all.
We haven't seen a lot of those. You had a couple, maybe.
Yeah, less frequent than we've seen in the last few starts from Jeremy. That was a good spot for him.
And now the count's going to be full. The change up as Iannetta took it low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hellickson touched for a double in the first, and then retired Kendrick, Pujols, and Morales. Now the bases are loaded with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Full count to Iannetta. And he got him. How about all of that? Swing and a miss. That 3-2 changeup got him. Boy, great job by the young right-hander facing the Los Angeles catcher.
Well, anytime you want to talk about what a quality pitch the changeup is for Jeremy Hellickson, or what kind of confidence he has in it, you need to look no further than this at bat. Bases loaded, 3-2 count, and he just goes with it. Picks up a huge strikeout.
Oh, that's just a classic matchup. That's another reason that you stay right with this game, and you don't go over to that other idol show.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a great sequence right there. The confrontation, Hellickson and Iannetta. 9 pitches, and he got him with a changeup. Here's Abreu, and he starts him with a strike. Breaking ball. So Abreu worked the count to 3-2 on a very close pitch, and then doubled to center field. So he's a tough out. Pitch is down. Abreu has been so tough throughout his career because he's not afraid to take pitches. He's had a great eye.
Yes, he does, and not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. Willing to take a count deep, still has a tremendous amount of confidence in his ability.
1-1, here it is. Ground ball down to third. Longoria is going to get the tag, and that retires the side. Angels lead them loaded. We go to the bottom of the second, no score.
What is that? Baby bat. Oh, hell no. Get it, get it, get it. Did you see Price? No. Price is squealing.
Hey, I can't even know. I'm the same way with spiders, dog.
Who knew a bat could be so much fun?
Only in a big league dugout.
It's a whole new experience there for Elliott Johnson with a different kind of bat in his hand. Here's B.J. Upton swinging the bat and rolling it down to third base, and Astures throws him out.
Yeah, he seemed to be pretty comfortable handling that bat.
Yeah.
You know, going out on the field, pulling it off the field
bat
like a champ. Yeah. Well, that's fine, but the old 34-31 doesn't give you rabies.
So where'd they put it? Bat rack or what?
You couldn't resist.
No,
you could not resist that, could you?
Well, we have more coming on the saga.
Oh,
of
you
the bat.
do. You know, Callis is all over it.
We'll see. Luke Scott, the pitch is down. Well, Todd Callis is our resident Batman. So, find out. 1 ball, no strikes here to Luke Scott, who's the DH tonight. Facing C.J. Wilson. 1-1 count. Scott hitting .295 for the year. There's one hit off a lefty, and that was a home run. He takes a strike. Fastball from C.J. Wilson. Rays had a couple of men on in the first, left him there. And Scott is out reaching.
Well, that's what makes C.J. Wilson so effective. Is he gets ahead of the left-handed hitter 1 and 2, and you're saying to yourself, well, he could go really a number of different ways. Fastball, slider, he likes to go with 2 strikes, or the curveball. And there he yanks the string on the curveball.
Boy, that was just a great shot from center field to show that breaking ball. That's just a classic shot of a classic curveball right there. Now Sean Rodriguez. The pitch is down. 1 ball, no strikes. Sean has 3 hits off C.J. Wilson in his career in 14 at-bats, and one of those hits a home run. 2-0. Well, Wilson is a starting pitcher. You got to give him credit for the success he's had and for the success that he had in Arlington, Texas, which is just a hitter's paradise. Even when you throw ground balls there, it's one thing to give up the long ball there, but the field is so hard because it's so hot it gets baked, and the ball can just skip through that infield and skip down into the corner and up the alleys in the outfield.
It's like playing in the parking lot.
Yeah. I mean, and you got a guy who throws a lot of ground balls, and he's been successful. Foul ball out of play, and the count is 2-2.
Well, that was some of the, what Nolan Ryan was talking about. When he took over that ball club, he wanted to toughen up his pitchers and create a culture where the mindset was our pitchers are going to be tough guys. They're going to go out there. They're going to throw a lot of innings. They're going to be well conditioned. And boy, a few years of that, he's got a staff full of them.
Ground ball headed up the middle and past the diving Kendrick. Sean Rodriguez picks up a 2-out single. Yeah, it's amazing what a little different mindset can do, and that's what they've done for that Texas club.
Now, right where it was pitched, fastball down the middle. Sean Rodriguez takes it right back up the middle. Stays right on that ball and threw it. 2-out hit. See if the Rays put Sean in motion.
Chris Jimenez, 5 hits for the year, and all have been against lefties. He's 5 out of 6 against left-handed pitching. This is the fastball. Pulled off a little bit. Strike one.
He was trying to, there's no doubt about the intentions of that swing.
Just checking with the plate umpire, Marty Foster, whether that was a good pitch or not.
Well, that tells you right there he pulled off of it. That ball was right down the middle. He's not even sure.
1-1 now. At this point, Jimenez has been an impressive pickup by the Rays.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. When I think about him behind the plate, you don't notice it, which is a good thing.
Yep.
He just does his job back there.
Behind in the count here, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That one had a little wrinkle in it from C.J. Wilson.
He's got the curveball working here. But yeah, you think about Chris Jimenez, it's like an official in a basketball game or a football game. You don't notice them, then they must be okay.
That squares the count. It's 2-2. Rodriguez at first. Single into center. was out reaching for that one. So he strikes out, and the Rays leave a man. We head on to the third. No score. Rays game is presented in high definition, brought to you by H.H. Gregg. They're happy Carlos Pena is back in a Rays uniform. Carlos off to a great start here for the Rays the second time around. And we go to the third inning. Jeremy Hellickson against C.J. Wilson. And Howie Kendrick leads it off for the Angels. Then Albert Pujols and Kendry Morales. Ground ball back through the middle and a base hit into center field. He hit a curveball, an opening curveball, and a base hit.
Well, yeah, that was not a very good curveball there by Jeremy Hellickson. Kind of rolled up there, no real finish to it. And Kendrick recognized that, kept his hands back, and just hammered it right back up the middle. There you go. I think you see the spike grip. You see him just wait on that, put his leg down, and hammer it back up the middle.
Pujols out short to first, his first time. And he takes a strike. So the Angels have had the leadoff man aboard in all 3 innings now.
Yeah, I get Jeremy Hellickson's a cool customer, throws well and with runners in scoring position, but you don't want to push your luck.
And a foul ball back. 0-2. Pujols with the Cardinals last year. 37 home runs. Drove in 99. It's up and in a bit. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Log the time. Log the time. That was great. 0-2. Right up around the letters. Nothing wrong with that.
Pujols just checking his sleeve. Oh, it's a little dirty.
You're all right.
That was what, 8:05 Eastern time. Ooh, nice idea. Come on, give him that.
Well,
pitch.
you know what? If that's up just a little bit more, he completely gets a ring up strikeout there.
I mean, this is how the game's supposed to be played right here.
You see, look at, and Albert Pujols, that approach there was he was going back out over the plate. He had no chance at that pitch.
2-2. And a swing and a miss. He comes back and had him out in front on the changeup. Well, a nice job there by Hellickson. Pitch up and in. 2 pitches later, this is a dandy changeup.
Yep, lets it fly. Look at that. That ball comes out of his hand. It looks like a knee-high fastball coming right down the middle.
Right now, Pujols is saying, who is that kid? Pitching like a veteran. It's Kendry Morales. And Morales takes a strike. Fastball right there to start this count in the favor of Hellickson. Shift on for Morales, so there's strike 2. We saw that shot of Pujols. He's now 0 for 18 right now, with no home runs. So he's thinking about that. You can see it right there.
And that's probably one of the worst things that you can do in this game is think.
Yeah, he's absolutely alone with his thoughts right there. He just missed.
You know, when we talk about command of pitches, that's command, even though it's a ball. You're in an 0-2 count. You're trying to do that. You're trying to throw a pitch that's right on the edge or just off to see if you can get a call or a chase.
And I tell you, he just all over and around that strike zone.
Yeah. Yeah, right now he's dotting his pitches nice. Good idea of what he's trying to do. This is the count, though. You got to make something happen. 2-2 count. Action pitch.
Runner goes. The pitch is down. The throw's going to get it. He is out at second base. Kendrick caught stealing for the first time this year. Rays had to shift on. Longoria took the throw. 2-5 on the caught stealing. They eliminate Kendrick.
You know, and Jimenez does a nice job of going down for that changeup. Not an easy pitch to handle, and then come up and fire a strike. Look at that. Right on the money. Kendrick just slides right into it. That is perfect. Can't walk it out there any better.
Well, Morales breaks his bat and rolls it down to first. Picked up by Pena, unassisted, and the Rays will come in to hit in the bottom half of inning 3. No score.
I was right behind Price, and I was like going like this. I was going.
Rusty said he's gonna call somebody and figure out how to take care of him. Because Joe said he wants to keep it
In the clubhouse?
as like a team pet. So,
It's our rally bat, man.
Hey, how about that? The team mascot, team pet, they're going to keep the bat. It's the rally bat, the whole
Great.
thing.
Great.
Well, there you are.
It'll be on the plane. On a string.
Here's Desmond Jennings, top of the order. Jennings, Zobrist, and Pena. And Desmond shortens on the bat. The pitch is in there for a strike. Nice. Sends another theme trip coming up.
Please no.
Pitch is outside. It was a breaking ball that did not break a lot. 1-1 to count to Jennings. Strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Great to have you looking in tonight. The Rays taking on the Angels, facing C.J. Wilson. For Wilson, signing with the Angels was really going home. He's an Orange County native. He grew up an Angels fan. So it was a no-brainer for him. Nice contract. Go home. And a team contending for the AL West Division title. Desmond Jennings out on strikes. One away here in the third. Barry LeBrock is in the house tonight. Barry?
Hey, Dwayne, you know we like to follow the tweets from either the Rays players or the Rays fans. I saw a tweet today that said, David Price, way to go. Of course, David coming off that great win last night, but the tweet was credited to one Astro Price, which, of course, is the name of David's dog. I can neither confirm nor deny that Astro actually banged this out with his own paws, but if we see one later tonight that says something like, hey, David, don't forget to stop on the way home for the sausage and bacon, we're going to have an investigation.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it.
We've got the man for it.
Yes, we do. 2-0 the count on Ben Zobrist. Ben lined to center his first time on a ball caught by Vernon Wells. Strike. Caught the outside edge. 2-1. C.J. Wilson, 31 years old. He was a 16-game winner last year in 34 starts. Made himself a big part of that Texas pitching staff. Pitched over 220 innings. 2-2 the count to Ben Zobrist. And a high fly ball hit deep to left. Abreu's going to look up, and Zobrist hits it out. Ben Zobrist hits his third home run of the year, and the Rays take a 1-0 lead. Well, Ben was 4 for 20 with 7 strikeouts against C.J. Wilson until this.
Well, and he got a hanging slider. And for C.J. Wilson, he'd love to have that pitch selection bat. You know, earlier in the bat, the cutter in sped up Ben Zobrist. That pitch right there, just too easy.
Oh, yeah. Got him!
Pena takes a big cut at a fastball and fouls it back. That's a strike. Pena checks. That's a ball. So the count is 1 ball, 1 strike.